So happy Halloween.
Thanks, you too.
I see you're dressed as a realtor.
Yep, usual costume.
What a gloomy day. What a very Halloween kind of day, huh?
Yeah, I went on my walk this morning and it was super foggy, especially down on the river, but it was kind of cool.
You mean neat as in groovy?
Yes.
Or cool temperature or both?
No, it's pretty warm actually.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah, but
Yeah, I was supposed to do a photo shoot and I got up and I'm like, and we were going to do drone photography. And I got up and saw the dense fog. I'm like, so probably not a lot of point in doing drone photography today.
yeah,
So we're going to do it.
pictures of nothing.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Well, we get to see the roof of the building, maybe, but
Yeah,
that's about it. Whoop! Big hand.
my Halloween hand.
Your Halloween hand. Yeah. So anyway, so tomorrow's supposed to be brilliant sun. Unfortunately, the photographer had a cancellation, and we're doing it tomorrow. So I think it'll all be great. But we're anxious to get
Sure.
it to the MLS, and because come Thanksgiving, our market tends to be a little quieter than normal. But then, I mean, seasonally that's been so. But man, with these interest rates, I think buyers are really trying to lock in their rates now because I think they realize that rates are only going to be going up. So
Hmm.
there seems to be a lot of urgency, I think, right now on the part of buyers. So we
Hmm.
are. I'm feeling a little surge in the market. I don't know, but were you out doing Halloween stuff this weekend? Because you said you were going to that island. That island?
No, no, no. We went, yeah, we weren't going to, that's as far as I know, that's closed for the season. No, we went to a haunted house.
Oh, you did. I thought you were going to that island. I thought, I don't know. I guess I misunderstood what you told me. So where did you go to a haunted house?
In Zion, it's been there for decades. It's called Dungeon of Doom.
Mm.
It's like a permanent installation there. I mean, they're only open seasonally, but it's like, yeah, it's like purpose built place over off the lakefront in Zion for it.
Oh, wow. So was that fun? Was that scary? Ooh.
It was fun. We went last year too. That was the first time we had been. We'd always talked about it, and we finally went last year. And then our friend Donnie had come up last time, and so he came up again this weekend, and we went back.
Yeah, you said he was he stayed the weekend with you, right?
Yeah, yeah. But
Well, it was a
yeah, it's a lot
beautiful
of fun.
weekend. I mean, it was beautiful weather this weekend.
Yeah,
Uh,
they do a it's, I mean, it's hard to find. It takes like an hour to go through it.
oh, wow.
It's very elaborate, and we have a pretty big staff and everything, both actors and
Oh, fun.
people kind of and the police department helps, like the incoming cars and all that kind of
Oh,
stuff.
my
It's a
goodness. Oh,
pretty big
wow.
production. Yeah,
It was kind of a mob scene, huh?
yeah. I mean, I don't know how many hundreds of people they have go through there every night, but it's yeah, it's a pretty big deal. And it's like it's like always on the national rankings of haunted houses or
In
whatever.
Dungeons of Doom, I must have seen the billboards and not pay any
Dungeon of
attention.
Doom, yeah. Um,
Back probably, oh, this has to be going back to the 90s when Carl was about that age, junior high or high school. And we went to a place that's called Raven's Grin Inn. It's way west. It's west of Freeport. I mean, I can't think of the name of the little town. It's a little town off of 20, but it's way west, about halfway between Freeport and Galena. I can't think of the name of the town. I have to look it up, but it's called, but the haunted house is called Raven's Grin Inn. And the guy actually lives, well, this is 30 years ago, I'm not sure now, but the guy actually lived in the house. It was his home where he lived, and but he had, he must have just had a couple of rooms or something that were where he lived, and he turned the rest of it into a haunted house. It was open year round, not just for Halloween. And I mean, it was pretty strange.
Yeah. Especially if somebody who lives there, that there must be something that seems kind of weird. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it was an old, it probably was an old haunted house, right?
Yeah.
And anyway, I think he was like a Vietnam vet or something, and still living out in the woods. He lived in this haunted house. It
It's
was
like a horror movie in the making already.
right. But
Well, it gets really, it's actually kind of surprises me what they can get away with doing with such crowds day after day, year after year. Because I mean, you can't see in a lot of it, and there's places where you're crawling and going through things and squeezing through areas and walking over things that you kind of fall into, and and then you can't see stuff jutting out at you, and then you're having to kind of go sideways and squeeze through tunnels, and in the dark and everything.
Mhm.
And but they I forgot they had said this last time, when you at the end they're handing out kind of brochures for other stuff that they do. And one of the things they do after Halloween is they do a blackout night where all the lights are out. I can't even imagine
Oh
what
wow,
that's like.
wow.
Yeah. It's so hard as it is, and the maze with like the smoke and steam and like and colored lights and dark corners and stuff. I can't even imagine what it's like in a full blackout.
Well, I kind of wonder if that would even be as fun. Actually, you'd think that the low lights and the steam and fog and everything would make it scarier, but maybe not. I
Well,
don't know.
yeah, except for me, the scary part is trying to find your way
Oh,
out and get through. So,
mm.
there's
Yeah,
kind
I
of a
guess it's not for people
claustrophobia
who are
sort of thing.
claustrophobic. I suppose they have big warnings if you're claustrophobic. Don't.
Well, there's an additional thing at the end called buried alive, and you opt in or out of that, and they say if you have any claustrophobia, don't do it.
It
Um,
kind of sounds like the whole thing. If you're claustrophobic, you shouldn't do it. I guess
yeah,
it
well,
depends
that's
on
probably
how.
true, but if they warn you about the second part, then what's what's real.
Yeah. Oh my God, that would be horrible. That would be, yeah. Oh
And I think Stump and Donnie did it last year. I didn't do it, but
the buried alive thing.
yeah, they basically put you in this thing, and again it kind of goes dark and all that, but they pour those like bouncy house balls over you, at like the things, the ball pit things, the
Like they have
plastic.
it like McDonald's, the place.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but they pour that over you. However, from what they said is, it's like, first it's like, oh, it's just these balls, and then it kind of but then it keeps piling on and piling on and piling, and then they start to feel the weight of
Oh,
it, and it starts to push down, and then it like seems like it's not ending. And then you kind of start to freak out. Yeah. So at first it's like, oh, it's just these little play balls, but then like a
yeah.
few minutes later you're like,
When you
oh my
have a
God,
ton of play
I
balls
think
on
there's
you.
something wrong. I don't think it's supposed to be like this. Yeah.
Gosh, wow. Yeah, no, that's not my idea of a good time. I don't think.
Then we came back and we watched a movie for Halloween. It's a twisted movie called Pearl.
Uh,
I think it's new this year. But it was
One of the channels, I don't know which one, but I think it was with ads too. They showed Little Shop of Horrors.
oh yeah,
And
I saw
yeah,
it being advertised. Yeah.
yeah.
It's a
I love
fun
that. I love that. I love the music in that show, and I love that
Yeah.
show.
When they were promoting it last week, they were calling it a plant-based plant-based like
That's great.
plant-based horror or something like that.
Very funny. That's
Pretty good.
great. Plant-based horror movie. That's a
Yeah,
riot.
that was pretty clever.
No, I had a buyer's agent who this was her season, man. I mean, she would hit every haunted house in Northern Illinois. It was like they made it was a thing. she would hit all the haunted houses. So
Yeah. There was a really, when I was a kid, there was a really good one in Tulsa. It was this big, I mean, it was right out of a movie. It was this big old oil mansion that was built like in the 20s or around 1920s, 30s. And it was up on a big hill with no like vegetation except a couple of dead trees.
Ugh.
It had been deserted for decades. And it was, at the time it was built, it was kind of out in the middle of nowhere, but then the city grew around it. But it was like on this big, like maybe half-mile square, like lot, yeah, and sitting way up on the hill, and so you kind of saw it all year long wherever you were driving, when we were driving
Kind of
around.
like the movie Edward Scissorhands, where he's in the.
It was kind of like that. It wasn't as tall like Mount, but it was on a hill, so
Mhm.
you could see it from all different places, and it was dilapidated. And quite honestly, I'm sure they could never do this, by like building code again or whatever. But for all the years I was growing up, they did a haunted house there called Scream in the Dark, and people would be lined down that driveway to go in, and it went all through this huge old mansion, and at the end you like came out like the third floor on a slide that you slid down to the ground at the end. But it was really creepy, and you were going around the grand staircase and through all these rooms and all this stuff. But it was a pretty incredible setting for it. And I remember they would have like the headless horseman
Oh,
riding around the grounds, like when you were in line and stuff, because the
oh,
headless horseman would come
fun.
riding through on the horse and stuff, and carrying the head,
Oh,
Yeah,
how fun. So you don't think that current fire regulations would allow that anymore?
I
The
just can't even imagine. Yeah.
three-story slide?
And there were, thousands of people going through that thing too. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it kind of raises a good question, right? I mean, I wonder how carefully these things, I would imagine that they would have to apply for a license or whatever and pass some sort of health
Yeah.
code thing or something.
And that's probably why it's places like this one I was in Zion, the Dungeon of Doom, that actually can do it, because they've been doing it for 30, 40 years or whatever, and that place is purpose built for it. It's like kind of an industrial park, and I'm sure it was some sort of industrial, building before or whatever, but they're uh you couldn't like throw that together for a year or two. You know what I mean? It
All
probably
right. Well,
wouldn't
it's
be worth it.
probably more like kind of an amusement park, kind of
Yeah.
like I'm thinking like Disney World. And when you were saying they had the blackout night, I was thinking of Space Mountain down in Disney,
Mhm.
where
Yeah.
roller coaster ride. It's pitch black the whole.
Yeah. And a lot of animatronics and a lot of different stuff too. That's, that
It's open year round, you say?
no, it's not open year round, but it doesn't turn into anything else.
Oh,
It's
oh, oh.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's open for a pretty long season, I think, and then they do these different things after Halloween, but it's not year round. But it's if it's not in use, it's still sitting there as the Dungeon of Doom. It's not, a
Right.
temporary thing
You
that they
don't dismantle it and make it
right,
something else.
right.
Interesting.
And I
You could
think they have
probably
offices
you could
there, and they're
probably
probably working.
book a private event there.
Yeah, probably. I would say I think they do have offices there, and are probably working year round in their offices or
So
whatever.
they make enough for during the Halloween season to justify just only being open a couple of months, I guess, huh?
Yeah, I mean, these tickets aren't cheap. I mean, I don't remember stump bottom. They're usually like between $50 and $80. There's different levels, and then you get the fast pass and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's not cheap.
Huh, interesting.
Um,
Well, Carl was in Salem, Massachusetts, he and his pals. There looked like there was about a dozen of them that had gone. I saw the pictures on Facebook earlier today. And they went to Boston and then up to Salem, and it looked like they had beautiful weather.
oh,
And
nice.
he sent me this picture on Saturday, sleepy little Salem. He said it was kind of sardine can time. It was so packed. I mean,
Wow.
they Apparently this is the first Halloween since COVID that people have really been back again. And I suppose that's the same with what you're saying about the haunted house too, right?
Mhm. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. That,
Um,
I can't imagine that they were open last year. If they were, that they were allowing thousands of people through there. I'm sure
yeah.
they had everybody masked up and distanced and all that stuff, I would
And it
imagine.
just seems like over these, especially over the past 10 or 15 years, it seems to me that Halloween's become such a bigger deal, you know?
Isn't that true? It's a bigger deal than Christmas, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it's partly because Christmas is all about, going home for the holidays and family and all the baggage that goes with all of that.
Halloween with your friends.
And what?
Halloween is with your friends.
And Halloween is with your friends, and it's much more fun. And
Yeah.
So although I heard it now, what was I listening to? And they called it, I had WFMT on, and they're doing their fundraising drive right now. And they've got this package, for only $11 a month, you can get their winter holiday package. I'm like, oh, isn't that interesting? It's a winter holiday package. So we're coming up on the winter holidays.
Yeah. That reminds me of somebody, I think it was when we had our Compass event when Robert Refkin was in town, and I remember where it was. Somebody was talking about comparing something in the 90s, and somebody was saying that, have you heard that they're referring now, and I have seen it a few times since then, they're referring now to that as the late 1900s.
Oh my gosh.
So we're talking about real estate stuff back in the late 1900s.
Oh gosh, does that make me feel old? I think I hate that, Wes. Don't use that term anymore. I never want to hear that come out of your mouth ever again.
Not me, it's the
What's
world.
that?
Yeah. All right, on that note,
All right. Well, everybody have a fun day. Be safe, and
happy Halloween.
yeah, happy Halloween.
Bye.